Hello, another day, another review, another dongle. And today I want to tell you about one of the long-awaited, at least in local community, portable digital tonal converters. It's iBasso DC06. Actually, as index suggests, iBasso didn't skip any numbers. It's the sixth digital tonal converter in their lineup. And it's of course the most modern and most recent one. It uses two 9219 digital tonal converters by ESS Technologies. And on top of that, iBasso added a bit of their magic, some good USB interface, femtosecond oscillator, and so on and so forth. So basically it's not a kind of basic way to cook this digital tonal converter, so it makes everything pretty interesting, and this model looks really promising. Price is $120 or euros, depending on what country are you in. So let's have a closer look. Package is traditional transparent plastic, typical for the iBasso digital tonal converters. I've got as an extra accessory a USB Type-C to Lightning cable, but I suspect it's not a stock accessory. And inside everything is pretty predictable. You'll get digital tonal converter itself, USB Type-A to USB Type-C adapter, and short Type-C to Type-C cable, probably the most used accessory here. In terms of design, it's traditional but looks pretty fancy. Of course, it's bigger than previous dongles by iBasso and by many companies, but it's common for modern digital tonal converters be slightly bigger than before. In general, they incorporate more complex schematics inside. And also here housed a pretty powerful amplifier that is capable to deliver up to 4 volts RMS for the balanced output and 2 volts RMS for single-ended output. So basically it requires a big case also for heat spreading, but it's not getting really hot when it's working. And still it's pretty pocketable, made mainly of metal. In my opinion, looks pretty nice. I like this shape and design. Usage is absolutely traditional. You plug it to some transport that you're going to use with it, and from other side you connect your headphones to one or another output. And here is a small LED indicator that changes colors depending on what signal it receives. It has red for standby, also I don't remember exact colors. It has for PCM signal, for DSD, and it supports MQA, so of course there is a magenta color to indicate that you are using that you are consuming MQA. I think that part of price increase for this model definitely went to license MQA support, but maybe Tidal users can get some benefits of that. I'm a bit retrograde guy here. I prefer regular PCM. And of course, about the sound, I built slightly improvised setup with IMR as example earphones. They just resting on my table, so I use them pretty often. DC06 itself and iBasso's DC300 as a transport. Of course, vast majority of people will use smartphone as a transport, but my smartphone is busy filming this video, so I'm using player to show you some examples. It doesn't matter what the transport will be. And another notice that probably worth mentioning, this thing is pretty powerful, so you will need to use either USB Audio Player Pro or some advanced player application that is capable of controlling volume, or you need to install this application named iBasso UAC. It's basically the volume control. This device doesn't have any buttons or something like that, so you can use this application to control its volume. But it's pretty simple and works in a straightforward way. But anyway, keep in mind that you have to do it first, otherwise it will sound pretty loudly. And in terms of sound, it's actually iBasso signature sound signature. Sorry for tautology. And it's natural. It's pretty resolving. Not super focused on the micro contrast, but delivering noticeable amount of details, and with slightly boosted dynamics, giving you a bit more forward emotions. It was pretty similar starting from the DC01 with different alterations, and now they move this to a bit of next level. So bass is deep, it's well controlled thanks to the good driving power, it stays on its place, it's not trying to add some weight, so it's definitely not a model for those who need additional weight. But what is present in record, it will play nicely. Maybe attacks on bass and actually on mids will be slightly sharper than they are in real life, but still it's not grabbing a lot of attention, it's just making everything a bit more energetic and forward. Pretty good with both electronic music and some acoustic, actually not acoustic, some real instruments. And as an example here I will use Get Lucky by Daft. And actually bassline here is nice, it's forward, pretty punchy, groovy, and this digital tonal converter delivers it really well. Of course it has no issues with something like Musica Nuda either. Mid frequencies are almost natural with slightly boosted dynamics and because of that a bit highlighted emotions, but not too much, just like a bit of spice on top of the natural representation. It's not trying to hide some issues with record or something like that, so you'll need to feed it with some properly recorded material. In exchange you'll get good level of detalization, you'll get spacious stage both in width and in depth, and it's one of the most noticeable boosts comparing to the previous generation of digital tonal converters. And you'll get a really good sense of realism with high quality records. And as an example for the mid frequencies, I've got Metallica's Enter Sandman. Recently watched some videos on about Ukrainian HIMARS destroying enemies' ammo depots during the night, and it was accompanied by this song, so definitely suiting well to this video. And thanks to a bit forward energy and emotions of these digital tonal converters, it suits perfectly to this track. It has good bass lines that this digital tonal converter delivers. Nicely defined treble also gives you good percussions, and a bit forward emotions makes guitars aggressive and pleasantly noticeable. So really good synergy for such tracks. And treble, of course it's lacking audiophilic layering, superb extension, but still extension is pretty nice. Not great, but nice. And resolution is good, attacks and decays are slightly faster than they should be, but still it's not sounding super harsh or something like that. But it's definitely not the solution for those who need comfortable, softened type of treble representation. It's not for that case, it just delivers that amount that is present. And as an example, Snarky Puppy Beep Box, good track with a lot of different percussion, with a lot of some shaking sounds, bells and so on. Pretty well recorded, and this digital tonal converter delivers it on a really good level. Not 100% perfectly, but pretty enjoyable without some big issues or something like that. Speaking about compatibility, of course it's a pretty universal device. Low level of background noise thanks to some iBasso magic they did inside, and it has a lower level of background noise compared to device with stock usage of 9219 chip. Not by a huge margin, but a bit less. But with super sensitive earphones you can hear a bit of background noise, but in many cases it would be actually caused not by the digital to analog converter itself, but by some interference of smartphone or something like that. With full-size headphones, actually it's also pretty efficient, of course not with super hard to drive models, not some super tough planars, but high impedance models it drives pretty well if actually transport provides enough of power. And in general, full-size headphones are pretty good pairing for it too. And few words about the comparisons. Actually, you know, iBasso stands aside from all other models in the similar price range, because Shanling has their own signature. They are warmer than iBasso. And X-Duo are sorry, not X-Duo, but Hydis. X-Duo I didn't compare, unfortunately don't have it with me now. So Hydis is more focused on the micro contrast, more analytical, more natural and more monitoring. Comparing to the previous version of iBasso, here you'll get a step forward in terms of staging, in terms of treble definition, and bass is slightly faster here. And Fio's KA3 is slightly has more weight and a bit worse in terms of treble. But in general, it's for those who prefer a bit more weighty representation, not as energetic as this one. So, if you like iBasso house sound, and if you want it in the form of the portable USB digital to analog converter, DC06 is your choice. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.